How far now, bro?
My nigga, I did go to the shop.
Fine. So, Ruger and Joeboy left their labels recently.
Yeah. Transfer season.
Yeah. Do you think they achieved the purpose of getting signed in the first place?
Absolutely. Both of them, they got signed to Empawa and Jonzing World respectively, and they performed very well. They enjoyed commercial acclaim and went on to become the flagship artists of their respective labels. So Joeboy got big commercially, he had huge success, and he went on to become the star boy, the face of Empawa. Same thing with Ruger performed wonderfully well. He had hits upon hits, and he went on to become the flagship artist of Jonzing World. Under Jonzing World, Ruger dropped, his debut EP in 2020. I think this pandemic EP had hit songs, Bounce, Ruger, Abu Dhabi. Joeboy dropped his debut EP 2019, Love and Light, had BB, Smash It, had Beginning, Smash It. So from there, they just kept going, just kept ascending, kept enjoying commercial acclaim. And at the end of the day, Ruger spent 4 years, and he had 2 EPs and 1 album. Joeboy, 5-6 years, and he had 2 EPs and 2 albums as well. So I think for both the label and the artist, it was a partnership and a relationship that worked and was a hugely successful one, because a label, you want your artist to be successful enough to, for you to have a flagship artist. And for an artist, you want to be successful to the point where you get to be the flagship artist of a record label. So I think both of them achieved their purpose. Yes.
All right. Do you think they outgrew their respective labels?
Yeah, for Joeboy, yeah. For Joeboy, yeah. For Ruger, I'm not so sure. But for Joeboy, absolutely. I think Joeboy got to a point where Empawa couldn't just do much for him anymore. Yeah, to be very honest. This is an artist that had back-to-back biggest songs in Nigeria. 2020, he had Nobody with Neptune. You've forgotten that song? Remember that song? Nobody. Yeah. Was everywhere. Toured down the country. It was number 1 on turntable end of the year chart. The next year, he had Alcohol. A madness across social media platforms. People were going ballistic on TikTok. They were doing ridiculous things during the challenge, taking risks, pouring ridiculous things on themselves. They had to come out and say, I know send a message, all these things, you guys are taking these things so far. So the point is, that was how huge the song was, back-to-back big songs in the country. And at that point, you'd expect an international play. You expect for there to be some international move to scale this song internationally. You expect that he start making, he start appearing in US media, in UK media. Maybe you expect like a collaboration, a remix that helps him to maybe chase international charts. But we never saw that. That moment just petered out. He just petered out, and he had to now start finding another moment and start, he just start with his sophomore album. So it just really, they didn't do much for him in terms of scaling him internationally, and it's just it's sad to see, because his contemporaries, his peers, people who they're in the same conversations together, these guys were getting some level of international success. YBN had that partnership with Empire, and they did some activations internationally, and Peru happened. For Fireboy, Peru happened, and since then we've seen Victoni go on to get Soweto. Rema, before Rema even has the biggest African song in Calm Down, he even had a bit of international momentum with Soundgasm and some of his other songs, right? But for Joeboy, we never saw any of these things, even though he had back-to-back huge songs, right? So it's just he did outgrow the label, and he got to a point where he was not going to move forward in his career. Afrobeat was leaving just African territories. The success of an artist, what determines who is the star and what determines who's going to be the face of the industry. It's just how much successful you are internationally. That was what was shaping it, right? People were breaking you're breaking out from here and scaling internationally. You are scoring hits here and you're amplifying it internationally to score international hits. But for Joeboy, that it never really happened, and he just got to that point where he hit a play two. And Empawa just couldn't take him to the next level. And for that reason, I would say he definitely did outgrow the label, and he had to find and determine the next move for his career. For Ruger has maintained a steady rise. Since when he came out, dropped that Pandemic EP, followed up with Second Wave, had the Girlfriend, huge song. 2 years later, he activated that, had moments, was touring. Later came out as Asiwaju again. The momentum never dropped. He was always on an ascension. And he was, since he broke into the mainstream, he has been, as far as I know, one of the top most touring artists in Nigeria. He was always on the road. If he's not in Kenya, he's in Australia. If he's not in Australia, he's in Caribbean. He's always selling his music internationally. He grew so huge, so big that he was able to have a very crazy brand with women going crazy over his music, throwing themselves over him, doing crazy sensual stuff with him on stage. That's how huge he was. So and I think he was able to achieve this with being signed to Jonzing World and the effort of the label, as well as his own drive and talent. So his departure came as a surprise to everybody, because maybe it's not you never saw it happening. He hasn't hit that kind of Joeboy play to yet. He's still his last album maybe didn't perform very well for different reasons, but you still know that there's still one or two workable singles from there. And it's Ruger. The next hit is not far from him. Once he dropped 2 songs, one of them was Enter, and he's going to take it from there again. So I do not think he necessarily outgrew Jonzing World, but I guess it's a case of personal ambitions and a bit of maybe indifference between himself and the label.
All right. Why do artists choose to leave their labels when they become big?
As I said, there are times where artists get to a particular point where labels cannot do much for them. Especially when it comes to Nigeria, labels are mostly built around an artist. The label revolves around their flagship artist, and once that flagship artist hits a level where it's bigger than the label needs to start finding JVs for international labels, for majors to come on board and take the artist to the next level. So, and again, other factors come into play: the economics of the contract, the nature of the artist, nature of the relationship. When an artist gets very huge, gets big, he makes more money, he becomes reluctant to share or to let go of a decent percentage of that money if he doesn't feel like he's getting something tangible in return. Sometimes an artist can even be getting something worthwhile in return, but just that intrinsic, that narcissism, I don't want to share. I can do this for myself. The artist begin to feel like whatever the label can offer him, he can do for himself, right? So that also lead artists to walk away from labels. But that's a Nigerian thing. We only have a couple of Nigerian record labels that are not built off the profile of a particular artist. Maybe Mavens, Choke City, to an extent YBNL. Although we can argue that it's one at a time. Fireboy was carrying, Bado's took a break and stopped being the flagship artist to let these guys shine. So Fireboy had his moment. Now Ashake is having his moment, right? But mostly labels they revolve around one particular artist. The artist is big and the artist is the face of the label. And once the artist walks away from the label do not have, they just peter out. You don't have a new artist that can fill the hole and the gap left by that particular artist that walked away. So it's a very Nigerian thing. People like to walk away from contracts and go set up their own shop because they look at the label, they feel this label is not doing much for me. Unlike America, where the biggest artists in the West are always signed to the biggest label. UMG has Drake, Republic has Taylor Swift, Ochada has Bad Bunny, and here we have Mavens have Rema, and our guys, no Nigeria label is big enough to handle them. Like if you look at it, like all the big guys are signed to, except Ashake that is signed to YBN now and Empire. The rest, Davido is signed to Sony UK, I think Sony US, I think Wizkid, Sony UK, Burna Boy Atlantic with his own label, of course. I mean, they all have their own imprint. Oxlade, Epic, Siki, Warner. So everybody has that. Even Rema is a partnership with Virgin and Mavins, Irastar, Platoon and Mavins. So there's always this JV going on because they need a big label to show your weight behind these artists internationally. So it's why big artists tend to leave labels and go set up shop and partner with someone else that can take them to the next career. So it's very common in Nigeria.
All right. What does Joeboy's partnership with Warner signal for his career?
I think growth. There are things he should have done. You know, the like international stage he should have performed. The international media platforms we should have seen him. He had the moment and nothing came off this moment. You understand? Like he had. Imagine someone else having alcohol, and then we cannot even say Afrobeat to the world wasn't happening then, because Love Wanting this thing it was first. Wait, it was first this thing now. You Want to Bam Bam, I mean, no, I'm a piano. I think it was the one that predated Love Wanting on TikTok. It blew, like it blew up on TikTok. It was during the pandemic. Love Wanting almost immediately blew up globally, and so that's 2020, 2021. Alcohol was 2021. So Afrobeat to the world was already a thing. Even Essence was Sika 2021, 2022. So it was already a thing. There were people already making international. I mean, even before what am I saying? Even before then, people like the bands were already making international play to over, right? So the things they should have done, these guys should have been on international media platforms, radio stations, you know, international interviews, publications. None of these things happen, and there's no way to look at this without a crux of this fault falling at the feet of his previous label. You know, so because they were the ones maybe making the decisions for him. So him partnering with Warner Music positions him for international success, and that is something that has eluded him since he started. And we saw what Warner did for CK, Love Wanting to position him internationally. So partnering with Warner helps him to, helps Joeboy to take matters into his own hands and make decisions that will scale him internationally, to break into the US, UK market, which I think is his ambition right now. That's his focus right now. And yeah, Warner helps him to position himself in areas and in spaces he should have been positioned long before now. Yeah. So it's not too late. It's not too late, and definitely Afrobeat is still growing internationally, and he deserves to be one of the artists advancing and exporting Afrobeats to the rest of the world. So I think this partnership with Warner, it's a good one for his career. I'm excited to see how it unfolds, and the moves he makes internationally in terms of collaboration, positioning. Yeah, so yeah, I think it's a long time coming, and it's nice to see that it's finally happening.
Ruger and Joeboy wrapping off to float their own labels.
When it comes to this floating labels issue, there's no yardstick, no cutoff mark. Anyone can wake up and start a label. It's not a big deal. Shari Poppy was like 1 year into his mainstream success, barely 1 year into his mainstream success, and he started a record label, signed 2 artists. So when we can go way back, right? When Badu dropped his second album YBNL and created YBNL, it was just like 2 years into his career. After his debut album with coded tunes, he left. Wizkid debut album, he left. Davido debut album, he left. Created DMW, so it's not new. There's hardly any Nigerian artist that doesn't have their own imprints. It's a very Nigerian thing. So it's not about I think if it's about wanting to do it, and also there's an issue of ability. You being able to run a label the way a label should run, you being able to get the right people on board, and you being able to use that label to advance your career and also break new artists into the industry. And we've not seen a lot of that. We've just seen people use label as a management company, sort of a sole proprietorship, something. You've not you own a label. Who have you, which artists have you delivered? Who have you broken to the mainstream? Only few people can boast of doing that. The rest just have a label to help, to help advance their own careers, and just it's like a one-man shop, right? And even when they do go on to sign artists, there's not really much that comes out of it. So for Joeboy, he's been 6 years into the game. He's had experience, and yeah, I think this is like a next step for him to want to evolve in the industry. You understand? To want to become more than just a musician, want to become like a businessman. And yeah, so that's why I created Young Legend. It's going to be run by Diola. I know Diola personally, so I expect it to go well. And yeah, it's not new. Ruger, Blown Boy. It's coming as a surprise, but again, it's not new. I mean, Ruger is 4 years in the game. People who are 1 year in the game are creating their own labels, right? So I don't know why it's not anything that should bother anyone. Anyone should feel like they're not ready, or Ruger is not ripe enough to float a label. People who have not blown have labels, right? So it's not a big deal. It's a very, very Nigerian music industry thing. So yeah, are they ripe enough? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right. What level of success will make their decisions to be considered the right one?
Yeah, so this is where it all boils down to. When you walk away from a record deal, when you walk away from a record label, people look at your next moves, what you are able to achieve after you walk away, and compare it to what you achieved when you were at the record label. So if it doesn't measure up, they feel like you made the wrong decision. You understand? They feel like if you had stayed, you would have advanced beyond this. So there's a lot of revisionism that go on. That's the thing with life. Like, if you do not leave, they'd be like, this record label is holding this person back. Then when you do leave and you set up your own shop and you do not eat the level you used to eat, they feel like you was always in a hurry to leave. You should have stayed. You think you could do this alone, blah blah blah. So I think for Ruger and Joeboy, for Joeboy, it's about like it's about maintaining the level he is in Nigeria. And same thing with Ruger. They're still music stars, they're still mainstream stars, they're still hit makers. Their songs still perform very well. You still see their song charts in the top 10 of the biggest charts in the country. So it's for them to still be at that level, right? That will be considered success. But I think for them, success would be for them to advance their career, because that is what they want to do. So for someone like Joeboy, it's about considering why he chose to part ways with Empawa and set up shop with Warner Music. So I think he wants to break into the UK US market. So if he's able to do that, if he's able to get to create a song that gets a bit of momentum internationally, if he's able to get a song that is big in the UK, US, call a couple of collaborations, then that's success, because he's achieved the purpose of the partnership with Warner. For Ruger, it's about advancing his career. His debut album, Rule the World, he had a bit of Afrobeat to the world facing. He had collaboration from the Caribbean, UK, other African countries, to show that he wants to incorporate other, he wants to reach out to the different markets Afrobeat is breaking into globally. So he has that Afrobeat to the world ambition as well. He wants to be one of the artists, exporting Nigerian music globally. So if he's also able to do that, if he's able to take his career to the next level, where he has like a song that goes very big internationally, then that's also success. But at the end of the day, right, I think for Ruger, who is like people are a bit skeptical, because they feel like, should he be running the label, or like, you're an artist, let other people handle the business while you handle the music and stuff like that. I think he's a very smart person. I think you cannot make that kind of music and not be a smart person. He's a fantastic musician. So I think, and while he was with Jonzing, I think he had a distribution deal with Sony. I think Sony distributes for him, I'm not sure. So this is a partnership that might continue, or he might strike a new deal with another, major or another international outfit. And is Ruger, the music speak for itself, the success speak for itself. So he's not going to lack these offers to be thrown at him, and I'm sure he's going to make decisions that advances his career. So all in all, the onus is on Joeboy and Ruger to show that they are capable of scaling their careers to the next level. I mean, they have the talent, they have the talent, they have the drive. So now it's about showing that they have decided to part ways with their previous record labels and set up their own shops. Is the onus on them to show that they are capable of making the right decisions to advance their careers to the next level. Because right now, they are the decision makers. The ball is their own court, and they definitely call the shot. So it's up to them to make the decisions that will advance their careers to the next level. And that's facts only.